All right, here we are. Tired Tuesday for me, man.
It is Tuesday.
It is.
I guess we're going to keep doing this, huh?
Yeah.
Tuesday seems pretty good.
On the Tuesdays? I like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday's way better than Monday.
Who's that fourth voice?
I don't know. Some guy keeps coming in here talking about cathedral port heads.
Oh, God.
That fucking guy.
Hey, we got Dave Localio from Head Games. And by the way, we're Power and Speed, 908-751-0211. It's going to be a good call-in show today because today is going to be, what are we calling the show? The information show?
The TNA.
TNA show.
TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to strategically let you guys talk.
Why is that?
I'm tired.
Come on.
Man, am I tired.
We can't do it without you, Mike.
Sure you can. I can push the button over here.
Binging on TV?
I was up really late watching our president.
He's our president?
Our president.
Ooh.
Like it or not, all you guys, he's not my president. Yes, he is. Unless you moved.
Yeah, to Canada, where people's eyebrows fall off.
How funny was that? I mean, I know it was a shadow. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
But it was so friggin' funny.
Oh, they killed the guy. It's awesome. I was just talking to Marco, and I made him look it up, and he's like, "Holy shit, our guy! He's look at him. He's got one eyebrow falling off."
It was the funniest look at the. If you haven't looked at that, you got to look at it. Just, I mean, look, the guy's eyebrow didn't fall off, but it the way the shadow was, that's really how it looked.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny.
He is a goon, though. But we can't. Let's not talk about politics, or we can.
Can we talk about this for a minute?
Let's ask Dave. Dave, can we talk about this for a minute?
I believe so.
All right.
Okay. I just.
But I want to interrupt one second.
Oh, we didn't let Tad do his thing.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, like us on Facebook and iTunes.
I swear to Christ.
Hey, he got it in. We kind of fucked the guy, and that was the best he had. That's all right. Good job, Tad. Good job.
Wasn't that this afternoon? What you guys were talking about?
No, the eyebrow. No, that was after the.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
G7 thing.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
No, I mean today with Kim.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was last night.
Last
and today.
night and today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I stayed up to watch because I was curious, but I don't want to talk about that. I mean, look, people say you legitimized them, you did this, you did that. Can really people like the Democratic side, can we win?
No.
Fire and Fury was, oh my God, nuclear war.
Yeah.
No, you should have diplomacy. Give diplomacy a chance. He goes to talk to him. Oh, you legitimize it.
Yeah.
What did you want to do?
Yeah.
And they've all said the same thing. Well, we'll just keep going like we were. Well, then aren't we going to end up right where we were?
Well,
Keep doing the same thing.
there's nothing he can do, but whatever.
But no, what I want to talk about is automotive related. What happens? Like, I certainly don't want to drag Manly into this or any other company, but the companies that are sourcing a lot from China, if the tariff thing gets worse, the equipment that I bring in, there's zero. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if anybody ever was so inclined. If you go look at like the tariff schedule, it's called harmonized code. Mm-hmm. It will make your head spin.
Oh yeah.
You could fit, like, if you were going to get a connecting rod, you could probably fit it into like 9 different categories,
right,
of all different tax levels. And so what you do is you tell the government, hey, it fits this one.
Yeah.
And then they charge you the least.
It's an ear of corn.
Yeah. And a lot of things are free.
Right.
They don't cost anything. But I mean, how bad an impact would this have?
I think it's overplayed, first of all, in our industry, only because let's just say, for instance, that steel goes up coming from there.
Yeah.
Well, it goes up for everybody.
Yeah.
So, if you're buying Chinese steel, which nearly everybody in our industry does to a point. I mean, we don't do as much as some because we make a lot of stuff here from American stuff, but everybody has some stuff. But if you're all competing on that playing field, it doesn't really matter. If Eagle and Scat and, all those guys, if their prices all go up, they all go up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a little bit overplayed. I think it has to be done. I'm glad. And the reality is, some of us have been saying for forever, in our industry, we all seem to always have a fight to the bottom on pricing.
Yes.
And people love to race. They're going to do it. Listen, if a connecting rod, if a good set of connecting rods was $900 or $1,000, people are going to give you the $1,000.
Well, that's, we've talked about that. And there's actually a marketing term for that a marketing guy used to work with that worked for the company. I used to work.
Jackassery?
No, but there's a term. Maybe it's like market elasticity. Like if you bring your price up, say $100 on an item that was $500, how many sales would you lose? And there's always a pain point, like a place where you start, like connecting rods. Maybe it's $900, maybe it's $1,000.
Well, and there's also mathematical formulas that will tell you, that you can figure out if you raise the price, you're going to lose this many sales, but you're going to make this much more profit. So is it better for your company, less wear and tear on your machines to sell
Less.
this? Yeah. So all those metrics are they should be utilized, but I don't think any of it plays into, and this is just my opinion. I'm just some idiot.
I don't think it plays into the racing industry.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it does, because we're so messed up that if we want to do something and it's what we want, we're going to do that.
Right.
And, I think with an item like the racing stuff, it's your hobby. So you tend to spend what you want to spend to get it done.
Yep.
And you find the money to get it done.
Yep.
You'll work like extra hours or whatever, mortgage houses. I know people do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Kids don't eat.
Yeah. They'll find something.
Yeah.
Right?
There's always
Go to a neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Ravioli.
Shit that falls in between the
Ramen.
seats.
Yeah.
Ramen.
Ramen.
There you go.
Yeah.
But everybody talks about this stuff. And from my perspective, what I do is if I sell things to other countries, I have to alter the pricing to try to fit into their model. And there are countries that I would sell into that if the good is manufactured in China or Taiwan, but I'm based in the U.S., I still get tariffed.
Mhm.
And the argument always is, at least what the people had said that are in favor of it, is that, well, the nations that are putting the tariffs on us are protecting their businesses.
Mhm.
Well, why can't we put the tariffs on them and protect our businesses?
Right.
I mean, where do you live? Do you live here or do you live in Canada?
I know we are a walking double standard. This country, it's amazing to me how ridiculously dumb people are.
Yeah.
But they are. Every day I get exposed.
So I was just wondering, what companies are going to be affected? And I guess the people that are more affected are the people that were, as you said, the race to the bottom because they get the cheapest goods, quantity item, whatever that item is, intake manifold, whatever.
The loss leader.
Yeah. Whatever they're doing, that brings them to the lower price point and forces you down, which if you're manufacturing here, well, then you're screwed.
Yep.
So I don't know. I was just wondering how many people or how many industries you thought were going to be affected.
I will say when Russia invaded Crimea, I lost a lot of Russia. When we put sanctions on them, I lost a lot of Russian customers.
Yeah.
Because it cost them a lot more to come here.
And that's bad.
And there have been situations that I've been in that it's very difficult to deal with a particular client because they might be in a region that we've sanctioned. Yeah. And you can't. So then it's an intermediary, and then the intermediary needs money. And then if it's an intermediary in another country, well, then you've got the potential taxes and duties. I mean, everybody talks about free trade. It's the farthest fucking thing from it.
There's no such thing as free trade.
If I brought in $200,000 worth of merchandise, I think I've said it before, it's like, I think I'll pay like $400 to get in the country. That's it. $400. How is that okay? And if I was going to manufacture a device here, let's say the device cost me 50 in China, 60 in Taiwan. If I manufactured it here, it would probably be 85. So not only can you not make it as cheap here because our labor costs more, but you can't sell it anywhere else because already your cost is higher, and then you've got to pay the percentage to get it in the country. Not to mention whatever VAT, whatever stuff they have. It's just like people wonder, like, why did the jobs go away? Like, it's this big mystery. Well, they were just cheaper labor. They just took it. No, we made it easy.
And all we're trying to do is turn it around.
I think so.
You want to see who it is?
I know who it is.
Oh, who is it?
It's your friend. Hi, Rich.
Yo, hoser.
What's up?
Nothing. I heard you talking about the tariffs and all that stuff.
Okay.
I was like, hey, we've had that before.
It's Mogul?
Oh, yeah, because you were in manufacturing, so you ship stuff all over.
Yeah, we ship. The place that I worked for, we make large pumps, and there was a fuel manufacturer in Brazil that when we put tariffs on Brazil, or when we put sanctions on Brazil for doing business with North Korea, we had to basically speed up I think it was like $10 or $12 million worth of product, but we had to hurry it up by like 3 months. And
I remember you talking to me about that at that time. You're like, if you didn't get it done, there was going to be a big penalty because of certain things that were going in place. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was rough. We ended up getting it out the door, and it was it was nice, but it was a tough deal. And like, for stuff that Tom does for getting, for bringing stuff in from out of the country, and then that debate of how the balance of, do we make it here for X amount, or do we ship it in and pay the money, for where Tom's at? That's a tough deal. I mean, I always want things made here. I've been busting your stones a bunch to try and get as much of what you make to get made here.
Yeah, but the problem is, I mean, honestly, and I don't want to turn this about, a manufacturing show. We had no intention. I was just bringing up the tariff stuff. But honestly, I can't do it here. If I did it, look, there's a plant that we had looked at. And think about this particular manufacturer. If it was a fax machine plant that, like, you could put your fax in and dial the number and it pops out at that plant. Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic for manufacturing. Not only that, this plant was in upstate New York. Mm-hmm. So if anything went wrong, you could drive up there and get in somebody's face and be like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. When something gets manufactured incorrectly in China or Taiwan, what are you going to do?
Go eat Chinese food.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather not go. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
But
no shit.
But I would like to make anything I made here. I know Tom pretty much feels that way. Tom, when we were talking about the T-shirts, which you never got.
I got them once.
Yeah. You were big on American shirts.
Yeah.
You always send FUD.
But they were more. There.
Yeah, they're more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. We can't, the problem is we can't make up for cheap labor. We can't, China, they live, die, and survive in a factory. That's what they do.
Yeah.
How are we ever supposed to compete against that level of living?
And they don't have unions.
No.
That's where it really kills us. Unions.
Yep. Any of you guys are in unions, we hate you.
There's reasons why we have unions, and then, there's some places where I agree with them, and then there's some places that I don't.
Where do you agree with them?
I'm in unions. Well,
you really got to fuck with the guy.
Of course I do. Come on, spill.
I was ready to push the hang up button here to get rid of it.
Okay, you can do that. That'll be easier.
Go ahead, Rich.
That can be a conversation for another day.
Oh, sure. I love lighting people up like that.
I mean, the reason why we have an hourly work standard of 40 hours a week is because of unions.
Stop.
In the 40s.
Yeah, in the 40s. Exactly. Somehow I think right now that the unions are not the one that sets how many hours you can work. I don't think the unions what does it. I think there's things called laws to do this. Yeah. And the unions used to keep people
came from that.
Hold on, dipshit. The unions used to keep people safe. They wouldn't let you work with loose clothing. I can't talk today. Loose clothing, standing on top of a lathe. They'd be like, well, you can't make me do that. But what's happening now is that you've got OSHA.
Yeah.
And all these protections that were there, and I know the people that are pro-union because they're in a union and they're reaping the benefits of it.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I hate to say it, but most of the people that are in unions don't even know why they want to be in a union anymore. They think they're getting taken care of by some guy that doesn't even work.
Yeah, who's making $500,000 a year because he takes care of the union.
And a car, and he does all that shit. But what do they really do? Yeah, Mogul, you wanted this. You called in the thunder.
Strongly disagree about.
Well, you could disagree, but you're still wrong.
Could you repeat that?
No.
I couldn't hear you, Rich. Could you repeat that?
My union.
Could you repeat that? Did you say you strongly disagreed?
I strongly disagree.
Okay. That's how it works in my world, huh? He knows I'm fucking with him. He's a good guy. We would have been there forever because he'll argue with you about something.
I know.
I want to make sure he has your cell phone number. So
don't do that. That might end your life. All right, let's talk about car stuff. We have a good guest here, and Tad.
What?
Tad just woke up.
Oh, of course, Nitro Scott collective bargaining. Oh God.
He's a troll.
He's got to be.
Oh, he is. He's good at it.
All right, so what were you planning on talking about?
Dave?
Stupid people.
Yes. That should be easy.
Rich, call back.
Yeah.
Oh, we love you, Rich.
No, you know what? You and I and Dave and I, we were talking a couple times during the weekend or whatever, and talking just about generalities of how misinformation is like rampant. And
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook forums.
Forums altogether.
I was exposed to a thread that I told you about this one, about ring gaps. And ring gaps are one of my pet peeves, and I know you know a little bit about them.
Very critical.
And extremely critical. So yeah, I mean, people think so much of ring gaps, and I'll just tell a short story because Mike's looking at his phone, Tad's sleeping, and Dave's waiting to talk about cylinder head porting.
That was kind of important. There's a building falling down at the condos.
Really?
Yes.
Which one? Not my mother's.
What does your mother live? Well, you can't give her address,
Yeah.
but it's
By
it's,
one of yours, across the hall from one of yours. But
oh, really?
yeah, so let's hope not.
It might very well be.
Not Joy.
Yeah, it might. I think it is. Oh boy.
Oh, literally a building falling down?
Yes.
What, you got a sinkhole?
No, like something's falling down, like in the foundation or walls or whatever.
Wouldn't it be great?
It popped a window out.
Wouldn't it be great if your building fell down?
Mine?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would it?
Insurance money, man.
Yeah, but I can't fix it. I can't look the way we end up getting felonized for that one. We got to be careful.
All right,
Just go ahead.
we're getting taken away from our important subject anyway.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was talking about now.
We were talking about
Stupid
the
people.
importance
Stupid
of-
people, ring
ring
gaps.
gaps.
Oh,
gaps.
yeah, ring
And I
gaps.
said they're critical.
How critical? Yeah.
You're going to tell a story
Okay.
of how important it is.
Well, no, the story I was going to tell was I can't tell you how many times this has happened, but it's at least a half a dozen since I've been doing what I do that somebody will call up or email or send pictures and say, "Hey, man, I bought a set of your pistons, and they came with rings, and they're drop-ins, which is another. We got to talk about the word drop-in at some point." Mike's laughing. They're drop-ins. And your spec sheet says the top ring should be, 18 to 22, and they're already 23.
I want to point out,
Good.
Wow.
is that the drop-in thing?
Yeah.
When I asked you about a 6.2 block,
Yeah.
I said, can you use that block from the factory and just put the pistons in? He's like, yeah, they're dropping. That's what you said to me.
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
All right, good. No problem.
So, there's
A thou.
You're missing the context on that.
Sorry.
So a thou and
thou.
Yeah, a thou, and they won't do it. Like I've actually had to call Total Seal and order top rings for people because technically they're right, but they literally think 1,000th makes a difference when in reality, 15,000ths wouldn't make a difference.
I get that with Lash. I get people calling me up and they're like, man, the spec is on the cam card is 12 and I'm at 13. So you need to help me out. I'm like, no.
You know how many times I mess with people like, oh my God, don't run it. You got to fix it. You didn't run it like that, did you? And oh yeah, I did.
Oh Jesus!
And I'm like, you idiot.
Pull the motor out.
Your feel of lash to my feel lash could very well be 1,000th.
Yeah.
How you feel the blade when
It's-
you put.
That's why it's called a feeler.
Yes.
gauge.
It's and we're not short of making fun of people.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh yeah, we are.
I'm good at that.
I'm just trying not to admit it like blatantly.
We're staying on the soapbox.
Yeah, we are. But how do you get through these people when some idiot who's never built an engine or never done anything is on the internet pounding the keyboard saying, no, of course it's that critical because it'll break ring lands if your 2000's too loose and blow by and oil control.
That's honestly why I don't go on any of those. And look, I'm a member of them on the Book of Faces when I peruse it. And once in a while, something will catch my eye. And, I told the one guy, I said, look, you're losing oil pressure at the end of your run because you got the thing filled up with oil and you're foaming it.
Yep.
And everybody's like, no, that's not true. You're pumping the oil to the top. Have you polished your drain backs? Have you painted the inside of your block? And I'm like, you fucking idiots.
Are you using oil shedders?
Oh, God. Just everything. And, at that point, that was one of the things I give up.
Yeah.
Uncle,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, that engine building 101, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
And you?
Yep.
I literally had to cancel that. Like I can't look at it. I literally can't look at it because of the amount of obvious
BS,
stupidity.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Actually, it hasn't come up on my thing yet. I haven't been through it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's too bad he can't profit on crowdsourcing retards because it's really easy to do.
Well, who says you can't?
Well,
Actually, if
we
we can
just
find a
haven't-
way.
well, it looks like on Facebook, Facebook, because
Facebook did.
Facebook did. Yeah.
Good call, Todd.
Very good, Todd. That was one of your better moments.
Yeah.
If you could screenshot it, it could be like the people of Walmart, but it could
Yeah,
be like
the people of
idiots of Facebook.
Oh, that's an idea.
That is so true.
Look, there's
Make
things
like a book
everybody doesn't know. I mean, that you just, if you don't do something for a living, whatever it is, whether it's plumbing or, engine build, whatever, you don't know and you make mistakes and you go to the internet to look, and it's almost terrible.
Yeah.
Like the ring gap thing, I think I told the story. We had a circle track guy, and I don't remember if I over gapped it or something happened, but the thing ended up like, God, I can't remember it now. Boy, it's Alzheimer's. Whatever it was, I think I was shooting for a 28 on the tops, and maybe I lost track and I did some tops like seconds, like just fuck up, just something you fucked up. Put the thing no different. I think they had 35, 38.
Yeah.
Fine. You never even know. No blow by.
And you wouldn't. You got to make such big mistakes, and people don't get that.
You know what? That brings me back to when Ralph used to be there on the little jigsaw with the file gapping rings, and he's so anal about everything way back when, until you got him that the wheel, so you can gap him. It's like, whoa, look at this. This is amazing. Instead of being on that freaking
we had a, I guess it would be called a vertical file.
a scroll saw with the file.
Yeah, it was like, I guess, it's probably what it was.
Yeah.
It was probably a scroll saw with a file. It had a roller lifter and ISKI welded to the back. So it backed up the file. So when you pushed against the file, it didn't roll back.
Oh my!
And Ralph would be there for hours back there,
and it would just,
him.
and would you go, meet, and you just hold the ring up. You spread the ring gap
That's
over.
pretty
and
cool.
That's how we used to do ring gaps. And like people would come in, I got a ring filer, and I see the guy cranking a thing on a bench. Like, what are you, retarded? And in the end, the electric one, the one that Goodson makes and Total Seal talked about and everything, they're fantastic. But the problem with them is what I usually do is I rough them, like I get them close. I know that everyone is going to need 10. So you take those 10 off. But then if your brain falls out and you grab a top instead of a second, or you gap something twice, well, then you're hosed. But you get them close and then you can zero in on them. But these people, what was the guy saying? Like a half a thousandth in ring gap you read?
Yeah. Yep. Or
Half.
I think he was actually talking about tenths. And
How do you measure in that?
I don't know. And then
The heat of
somebody,
your hand is going to
measure that
change
with?
it.
Not only that, unless you're looking with a loop, the squareness of the ring gap, when you're trying to observe the square of the ring gap, the front could be 20 and the back could be 22.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no way you're getting that accurate.
well, and somebody went as far as to say,
Okay.
God, I don't want to quote it because I don't remember exactly now, but one guy was talking about tenths and the other guy said a couple thou was worth 2 or 3 horsepower. And I'm like, this guy, is this Randy Dorton? Is he working at Hendrick or Gibbs or something like that? I mean, come on.
No,
If that was
top fuel where it
possible-
doesn't matter.
If that was possible, we'd all be doing it.
Of course, and we'd be rich.
I mean, there probably is the situation like maybe Formula One or maybe even Cup that they might find, maybe they find one or they find a little better fuel efficiency
And they
or they
want it.
find something. So that nth degree, but for the average guy who's building a circle track motor
Or Le Mans, you got your 24 hours. You need every bit of efficiency you can get,
Yeah. I mean, for things that have to be perfect, that the thousandth of a second matters, well, then, you probably got to worry about it.
But the key, here's what I would like to put forth. There's no problem trying to be perfect. And to get, if somebody says your ring gap's got to be 22 and you get them all at 22, God damn it, great. It's great. But the people have to understand that it isn't, it doesn't have to be 22.
It could be 24.
It could be 24. It could be 34. It shouldn't, maybe it shouldn't be, but.
And you know what happened? You'd have this conversation with the guy that called you up to get a replacement ring or to get something. And it'd be like, oh, those cheap bastards, they didn't want to give me a ring.
Exactly right.
They wouldn't even sell me a ring. They're lazy.
Dude, can't even argue with him. Can't even argue. Look, we had a guy, another true story. This is true, and I'm going to say it because it's out of the country. So I'm not even making fun of an American.
Podcasts do go everywhere.
I don't care, but I'm just not making fun of somebody from the U.S.
Okay.
We had a guy bought a set of 2 JZ rods.
Uh-oh.
And end pistons. We sent him over to, I want to say, New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And he called up, and tech somehow I know. It was my customer mail order so I ended up with this email call, whatever. So this guy had his engine builder weigh these rods. And I mean, we're pretty good at weighing rods, but one of the rods
I remember this.
0.6 of a gram heavy.
Oh yeah, that's really
0.6 of a gram.
that's
So-
really scrutinizing.
But just hear me out now, because this is amazing. So now this guy wants a replacement rod because he's in New Zealand. We're thinking that we're right. He's thinking he's right. So we're not going to pay to ship all these things back to confirm that we're right. This guy waited. We made, I believe, 4 runs of connecting rods before we got a rod in that weight range of those 6 rods that worked in his range. It was like 7 months he waited for a connecting rod.
Well, not for nothing.
But what do you think the first thing I told him was?
You're out of your mind.
Well, no, I couldn't say that, but I said,
You're stupid. I mean, there's a lot of adjectives that would fit that guy.
I said, dude, why don't you, I mean, did you weigh all your pistons? Put a light piston with it, put a light
Yeah.
pin with it. I mean, my engine builder says that doesn't work. Wow.
Now, how many times I ordered a maybe a 120 wall pin instead of a 90 because we changed the piston and the piston was lighter. And I mean, this isn't rocket science.
Yeah, there's no engine builders anymore either, by the way.
The rods that are for the motor that I put together
Mhm.
for me,
Mhm.
didn't they come that same kind of way too?
Yeah, that's why we got them on a deal.
Yeah.
They were 1 gram out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 gram.
Could you imagine if
We can't sell them like that because we say we're 3 grams, top to bottom.
God.
And you know, by and large, they fall in. But yeah, so we got the 1 gram set, and I know how worried you were about that.
So his guy was blueprinting the engine.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, he found that during the blueprinting technique.
he was balancing and blueprinting it.
Yeah, that's
And
another
he's
one.
like, whoa, this is not going to work.
And that goes right into the Graham thing, what he's talking about, the balancing. You get people that are so wound up, like they won't grind a connecting rod bolt, or there's things they won't do because it throws everything off. And we've talked about it a million times before. Well, how do you know that on one particular stroke of the engine that there's not a little more oil at 5,500 RPM hanging on the big end of the rod or the small end
And the fact is,
than there was at 2,500?
and there is.
And it's got to be a couple grams, right?
Absolutely.
This is the close enough thing in a lot of this stuff.
Again, there's no harm in trying to get really good, but man, let it go at some point. You got to.
Now, there are some places that you got to be right.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about some of them? Like rod bolt stretch.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah. Get critical there.
Yeah.
Where it's got, and you got to be.
spend the time and worry about, the hundreds.
Our one guy just here said, grind a little off the rod bolt. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a guy we told to do that, and instead he took the motor apart for
well,
whatever.
Didn't that
who
motor?
would that be?
That motor blew up anyway, didn't it?
I don't know what the whole story is with that, but it still does not run. How many years ago was that? That 3 now?
Yeah,
Easily
you-
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, he's not.
Was that even before the podcast?
He's
Or
not
is that-
listening anymore. Alan.
I don't know. If you said his name, it would be indiscreet. Alan.
Yeah.
I had a guy. I'm sorry. You're gonna
No,
say
no.
something?
I was going to say, yeah. I know we wanted to talk about people porting stuff and screwing up.
Well, there's a lot of quote unquote experts
Yeah.
that they like to hog things out, but they only have the talent to hog anything out.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Johnny Feed and Speed got in there, and Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder were tag teaming it.
Yep.
But I had a guy who called me up, and it goes along with the lash thing. So he was a quote unquote engine builder, and he's putting a set of Subaru heads on a block, and he said that the lash was 2 thousandths off.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to next day air me.
Now, because I don't know this, are they not adjustable? Like, is that a bucket thing and it all goes together and that's it? Or
We
how does
tried
that
to be
work?
within 4.
And is
and
that
it's a
done by
bucket.
grinding the tip of the valve?
We
No,
grind the tip. Yep.
Yeah, or graduated buckets.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'm a machinist, so I'm gonna
Yeah, you're going to grind the
valve.
tip. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a couple different sizes, and
Yep.
I'm gonna tip the valve.
Yep.
So the cam card says 10. We're at 12. I do 10 to 14
Mhm.
because there can be a little bit of a leeway there.
Mhm.
So he wants to next day air me these heads back, and I'm like, no fucking way are we gonna next day air anything back because he needs them. He can't use them like this.
Jesus.
So he ends up taking them to his local guy. And his local guy said, because I didn't lap the valves in,
Oh, God.
that the valve sealing will go away over time.
Wow.
So I let him know before I hang up on you. I just want to let you know that I'm going to tell your story for the rest of my life. Like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No way.
Lapping valves.
Lapping valves.
Yeah.
The only time that I mean, and maybe this is an automotive thing that I don't know, because I don't think I ever learned the get it done method. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned the proper method to do things. So I don't think I would ever be in that position where I would know what valve lapping is really supposed to do. You know, we used it for to see if the seat looked good, to see if the valve looked good.
After a valve job.
After a valve job. We didn't do it for sealing or to make it better or to make it more stable.
No,
I mean, it
You
was,
just want to see where it was.
yeah, it was done. Or like you take something apart and, you know, the thing has no time on it. And you're like, well, do we do a valve job on it? I don't know. Let's lap them real quick and see how they look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever done. That somebody actually told you to lap it
No, because I didn't lap
because you didn't lap it.
Yeah.
So what would happen? The valve job would go away, or they tighten up automatically because the valves would come up?
No, the valve sealing, like it's going to stop working. Like
Holy
you're
fuck.
going to,
They don't get it.
they don't get
just
it.
They don't get angles and all the.
I was like, my $40,000 machine sitting back there. That your valve refacing or your valve lapping.
There's no lapping fixture on it. I think Cerny
That's an option.
Yeah, Cerny would put a fixture on it if lapping was all that.
Do you get guys that call you up? We were speaking about rings. I get guys who will leak a motor down. They just get the heads.
Mhm.
They're putting a fresh motor together, and they leak it down, and they're freaked out because it leaks
Yeah.
Before it runs?
before it runs.
Oh yeah, well that's more genius.
You're like, man. Or they'll put gasoline in the port.
I've had customers do that. That they will like, they'll be putting some of their own shit together. Like they'll bought a short block. They would have bought a complete short, and then they put their heads on it and they leak it. And it's terrible. And they're like, oh, it's all coming right out the crankcase. Hasn't run yet. Still, it shouldn't be like that. Well,
Says who?
yeah. And he'd ask me, what should it be? I couldn't tell you because I've never been so inclined to leak something when it was brand new sitting there on I don't know.
Oh God, this is going to lead us into
Break-in.
engine break-in too. Yeah,
Break-in.
I mean, we hammered Tad about this last week, and Tad, it's not about you, but
No, it's not. Look, Tad's doing
he's
doing
doing
what I'm told.
what he
should
wants to do. Yeah,
which is amazing.
yeah. Oddly enough,
This is the guy that
almost
put the
never happens.
This is the guy to put the bolt in his wastegate valve, and he's listening to these guys about break-in. So
Yeah.
Tad has grown. It's impressive. We had Total Seal Keith.
Yeah.
Kind of said, look, we went over how you put pistons in.
Yep.
You know, you don't dunk them in oil. You
Nope.
don't soak them in STP. You don't do any of the dumb shit that you hear people do.
thought it was ATF.
They have some, ATF's another one. They have some ring lubes that are special.
Yep.
I mean, but all I ever used to do was dab oil on my finger, skirt, ring compressor, put it in. That was it, done.
Yep.
Bore was clean with lacquer thinner and finished. That thing in 2 or 3 dyno pulls is what I would consider stabilized, and then over time it'll get better.
Mhm.
It'll make more power.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all there is to it. I don't know where all this break-in stuff comes from. I really don't.
Like,
Oh.
where is it?
Well, a lot
Does
of
the
it.
bearing crush more?
Well, a lot of it comes from guys that want people out of their hair for a certain amount of time, and then bring them back in for another tune to make money. And you know, some of it's marketing, and you can't blame them for that. But the reality is, you know, motor goes together. It's, you know, if it's going to blow up, it's going to blow up, especially from a bad part. You know, a bad part doesn't care about break-in.
No.
You know, if
It'll-
you got a crack that you can't see in something, break-in doesn't mean shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if all the parts are good, break-in doesn't mean shit.
And, you know, I almost have to give credit to the people that don't realize something new can break. Like, that's just impossible to them. Like, it's binary. Is it new? Then it's good. If it's old, then it's bad.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
It's got to be good.
Yeah.
Got to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some episodes where we had several motors fail, like in the course of one day, because there was a bad run of parts. I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
It was bad. And new stuff, like, people are always like, well, why are you nervous when you run something on a dyno? Because I've seen enough new shit break.
Yeah. There's some people that are way more confident with shit that's run.
Yes, I call it stabilized.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you've called it stabilized too.
Well,
You
yeah.
know, everything is stable and good.
Yep. So, but yeah, so break in, that's another thing. You know, these people can argue all they want, but
Yeah, guy rates Oliver Rods, Mike. If that guy ever heard this, like Bruce Baldwin, if he's still there, he's probably like, that motherfucker.
true though, man. It's true. Who is jack shit?
I don't know. You don't know. You don't know jack shit?
I don't know jack shit. Apparently. It must be somebody that knows you, right?
No, I think it's somebody that's listened to the show because they've heard me bitch about that many times.
I guess it was a rod bolt thing. God, that was
No, it was a breaking in the beam thing. Big ends floating on a journal and the pin ends in the piston and it's the middle's gone.
Yeah.
Well, it's your fault. Oh, really?
Well, they had their rod bolt thing too.
Yeah, I know that.
WSB deal. That was crazy.
What other things are stupid that people get insanely into?
White Castle.
That's it.
Oh,
Take
just
pictures and everything.
sorry.
When they hit their windshield wiper or they're cleaning their windshield when you're driving down the highway
Mhm.
and it hits your car, you just freshly cleaned your ride, you're cruising down the highway, and somebody's trying to clean their windows on the highway.
At speed, yeah.
Are you sure you're not related to Tad?
I thought he was being serious. Like the
not.
guys that use their windshield wiper to arm their nitrous button.
I
But
mean, it really does piss me off, but
yeah, your car's clean and the guy in front of you, 2 cars up, is washing his windshield and
Yeah.
the water goes on
go
you.
all over me.
I'm trying to think other things that I've always had. Oh, I think I
That's
told
fucked up.
the story once about the valve springs with the one guy. We didn't have the same shims in every location.
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah.
he took it
Oh,
all
he
apart and
lost
he
his mind.
fixed everything.
Evened them out or whatever.
Evened them out. They're all exactly the same height now. And I said, you do realize that we batch those springs and, you know, the light ones run exhaust, the heavier ones run intakes. And that's,
He,
he took all the heads apart and he said, we got to make them all perfect, all even. Well, the springs aren't.
wow.
Good job.
And I told him, I said, you want to bring that thing back? Not only that, the reason we do that, at least with those, is I don't know how much of this stuff you did, Dave, but with flat tappet stuff, it gets critical. Like spring pressure becomes, it lives or it doesn't. So you I mean, look, it's not within 5,000s, but you know, you want to be within a few pounds of where you know you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And so this guy fucked everything up. I'm like, oh my God. I said, you don't have a spring tester, do you? No.
No, they just had to look like that.
I said, well, what are you doing? Well, I made sure everyone was, I'm like, oh, bring him back. Well, no, I fixed them. Yeah, you did. You're going to ruin your camshaft.
Yeah.
God forbid you did something really.
I got a text the other day about somebody. They're like, send me a picture of their head with a valve spring in it. They're like, does that look right to you? Like, does that look? They're trying to replace their springs, and I'm like, you want me to just look at the picture and figure out if you install that at the correct height, if it's the right pounds?
And you couldn't tell
I couldn't
if
do
it
it.
was 20,000's too much.
I'm the idiot,
Gotta be.
right?
Gotta be.
I'm trying to think other things.
That's like a drop-in guy.
Well, it was a high
Yeah.
def picture, wasn't it?
You know, we've talked about this too, but another thing that gets me is I had a customer call me up and say, this is not really, it was an old customer, but he called me, I think just last weekend, and he was going to race with his kid. And he was talking about the mixture of the carburetor.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's up? And he goes, well, you know, now it's not running well. It doesn't idle well. I said, look, carburetors aren't rocket science. Not a lot there. And he had a carburetor guy at the racetrack that was helping him.
Oh boy.
And it was colder, and he had to go up one number in jet because it got 15 degrees colder from when they practiced. And I'm like, you know, that's kind of funny. That's where the fuel injected guys and the programming guys have a better handle on this than the carburetor guys, because the carburetor guy sees a jet and he says, okay, this jet equates to how my car runs or how rich it appears to be. They don't really know what's going on. Where a fuel injection guy would be like, look, you got a wide range of where you could be just fine.
Yeah.
So you get these guys at the track changing jets.
Yep.
Experts.
Yeah, experts. Now, look, I could certainly understand you're a comp eliminator racer. You're a pro stock racer. You're a cup guy. You're something that's got to get fuel economy, Le Mans stuff. I get it. Not for what you're doing.
No.
There's no measurable gain there. And you will hear people complain and argue and discuss how much jet change there should be if you get to the track during the day and then the sun goes down. And it's amazing. That's another one that bugs me.
Or when they idle through the pits and then they pull the plug. Oh, look at it. It's all crusty and
I think most people forgot, checking spark plugs. I think they forgot how that worked. And I mean, Brian used to do it. Used to be out there on a racetrack, going down a straightaway, click, pop it neutral, coast in, push truck and push him over. We'd look at a plug, say, we're good.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what happened? You break something? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And same at Raceway. You make a pass, shut it off right at the line.
Mm-hmm.
Don't turn it back on. And
we used to have to explain that to customers that should know that.
Yeah.
And they don't get it. And like the other thing is, a particular person who I don't want to get it too much in the middle of this, took his car somewhere to be worked on, and they said, "Oh, your plugs are all fouled. You got to change them." Well, it's fouled because it was running a little bit on the rich side, but the thing wasn't missing. So you know what that means? The minute that the plug is up to temperature, it's going to clean.
Yep.
It'll be fine. Nope, they changed his plugs.
Well, didn't your buddy Doofus? He didn't know what at temperature he was leaving. Everything wasn't stable. He just go up, make a run. And
No,
Ralph
I
said-
don't. That's not Doofus because he knew.
Right.
He knew he had to be. He's a bracket racer, dude.
Right,
if anybody
yeah.
knows that temperature you leave the starting line
somebody
matters,
had there
it's that guy.
that just went up there willy nilly, whatever, and couldn't
Yeah.
figure out why things were
But there's
different.
been so many idiots over the years, like the big yellow coil types. I mean, it's just.
Hey,
it's
those
just-
are racing coils.
big yellow coil guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them guys.
I remember my dad would be sitting there and I'd be talking to somebody and he'd be like, "Do you have one of those big yellow Excel coils?" "Yeah, I do." "Okay." And he'd walk in the back like,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
he's a joke and nobody, he didn't never know it.
No, because they were all proud of it. They had to have that coil.
Hey, it came on my Challenger. I left it there. So
Figures.
What else?
I wanted to, off the subject for a minute. The Englishtown thing. I don't know what you guys have heard, but the Copart deal fell apart.
yeah, I heard that, and other people are saying no, it didn't.
Oh no,
Blah,
it did.
Yeah.
It's done.
Ooh.
And Raceway Park has actually filed permits for the Diesel Trucking Nationals and
Really?
and the Night of Thrills already.
That'll be nice.
Really?
So it looks like maybe, let's cross our fingers, maybe there might be racing
Hope in
again
the future.
in Englishtown.
I got to tell you, and we talked about this the other day, and we talked about it with something else. I'm not a very good spectator. I don't like to go watch. I don't.
You like?
I
this.
believe
you
that.
love those
I'm the
Subarus.
same way.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be involved.
I'll walk around, but I won't watch racing.
No, I mean, and I can understand how people could be fans and they could watch it, and to them but it's not me. I am not a spectator. Very rarely do I go to a track to watch, and if I do, it's because I had to see somebody and I sat there and I watched for a few minutes, or maybe there's a good race. I enjoy like a good race, but I don't watch. You get these people that I don't know why it happens. But they'll watch a race, and Tom and I just talked about this today. They'll go there to watch a race, and I like the technical side of it. And they'll sit there, and we had these people in the stands all the time that they're watching what's happening with the car, and they're reporting back to you what they think is wrong and how things are going. And I mean, you get these people that'll sit there, they're bench, and I mean, maybe it's part of the fan thing, but they'll sit there in the stands and be like, "Hear that guy? He's dropping a valve." I'm like,
Wow. Really?
The car's running lean.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, that's another one from the stands. He's running lean.
It's like 15-1 right there.
Hey, Jeff Hester's, he's angry
Oh,
about Englishtown.
well, that's what I started to say when I got into the spectating thing.
Yeah.
And then I got derailed because I was looking at something, and then
Yeah.
it's
Well, just so Jeff knows, Jeff, they can't sell. That's the whole thing. They don't own that property. They've leased it forever. And if they sell, the town will never issue another permit for a racetrack.
who actually owns it.
I think the town does.
really?
And they've leased it. Oh, so the town bought it to make sure that they couldn't sell it to another racing organization.
No. This was like a 100-year lease back in 1960.
Really?
So, this is the story that I gather, and I believe it to be true.
Well-
I heard a rumor that the reason why that they even went this route was because they wanted to do some of that no prep stuff, and NHRA won't
NHRA
allow
wouldn't
it.
let it. Yeah.
So they're trying to work a deal where they can kind of get out of that and then get back in.
Well, that
Which
could be too, but the funny thing is, NHRA is kind of doing no prep stuff now.
Hmm.
They're not going to no prep the track, but at national events coming up, they're going to have. They're calling it a bunch of different stuff. They're going to have some small tire guys. They're going to have street outlaw guys. They're bringing that stuff on because they have to. because they're getting killed.
Well, after the Diesel Nationals, it might as well be no prep because that track sucks after that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it does. But
Well, what I was going to say is when I went, I am not a spectator. I don't go to tracks all the time. I don't go to tracks to watch. I don't go to tracks with friends unless I'm involved. Well, I went to Echo a couple times with Jeff, and I never went with Jeff to Englishtown, but like hearing the quality of the track prep at Atco versus Englishtown, honestly, who needs Englishtown?
Not even close. Yeah.
Why would you go?
Yeah.
I mean, like Jeff went to Englishtown and basically got nothing accomplished.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it always has been terrible. Like literally since I remember, but it's so close, man. And you know, if you can get them to spray, listen, even a bad track is pretty good if you don't have a 7-second car.
Mhm.
Island's got that problem.
What's
What?
that?
Not being that well prepped.
Well, that's because they don't want anybody to go too fast. Yeah. They got to stop.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, they'll end up in New
Yeah,
York-
Jeff
New
got.
York
I forgot
City.
Jeff got thrown out of there by Doofus.
Yeah.
Doofus is actually what threw him out. That's funny.
Boy, Jeff's angry. Damn, he's like, don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. He'd only get 3 runs. You go to Atco, you get 6.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually the time I went, I really got a fucking. But it's you get time and the track prep is good. Everything's good.
it's just better.
I got really upset when I heard the news, and then I realized that I've taken more hits down Roosevelt Boulevard
Mm-hmm.
than I have
Yeah.
down to E-Town.
I think
And I
it's a
definitely go to
shock.
Echo.
It's a shock because everybody around here, I don't know if the Sunday thing originated here with Englishtown. I
It
don't know if
did.
that was an original marketing thing.
It did.
And, you know, there is a lot of history at that track. So probably
Yeah.
everybody felt bad from the history perspective, but from the racing perspective,
I agree. And you know what? Sunday may not have originated in Englishtown. That might have been New York National Speedway. When New York.
Well, you know, you old guys know the history.
Yeah,
better
right.
than me.
right. We forgot about that. We're youngsters.
Fuck all y'all.
All right. Well, I wonder if anybody has anything they want to talk about.
I don't know.
908-751-0211. The phones are on, and I'm actually looking at the phone system. So
And don't-
anybody
and-
other than Mogul,
Yeah, and don't pull a mogul and call about union dues or whatever the hell he wanted to talk about. These guys, you know, they bitch at us about all kind of stuff and they never call.
well, here's the bottom line. It's our thing. If we want to talk about Hillary Clinton for 2 hours, or we want to talk about unions, or we want to talk about stupid things people say about motors, it's our deal. You don't like it? Don't listen.
She's a monster.
You just don't have to download it. That's all.
Yeah, it
So listen-
saves you the time and the
Yeah.
bandwidth.
Yeah,
Dave, I have to apologize to you. When I first put the show up with Vince, I mixed the show, and somebody told me, they're like, was Dave's mic off? And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Took me off?
No, what? normally,
Oh my God.
normally when I mix, it's, you know, Mike, Tad, Tom, phone, and that's the order you drop everything in. There's not usually somebody sitting there. So when somebody's sitting there, I got to remember to drop in the last audio track. So I'm listening and I hear this little Dave voice in the back bleeding through the mic.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I had to replace it. But there were a couple things that I had to bring up about Vince being on. Nathan brought up a couple interesting things. Well, he brought up one thing, and I had something else interesting. I'll see if I can bring it up from later. We never asked him about who would you talk to at GM to make a diesel Suburban? We should have asked him. He might know the guy. Maybe the guy, who's the other guy? Russ?
Yeah.
Russ is the special projects guy. How about a special projects excursion?
Well, we're going.
You know,
there.
or Suburban. You know what I mean? That was a really good point. Nobody ever brought that up.
Yeah, that is a good point. Oh, because you're the only person on earth that's waiting for
Not
it.
a fucking. Now wait,
Well, there's a lot of people out
hold
there.
up.
There is.
Hold up. You look at all the idiots now fucking with the diesel trucks with the big stupid 20-inch exhaust stack out the middle of their bed and all this nonsense,
Yeah.
and even the drag diesel guys. You don't think that there's a market for those things? Of course there is.
Do they sell them in Canada?
Hey, well, we can't get anything from there after the guy's eyebrow fell off.
Yeah, I know. No, Jeff Hester saying move to Canada. Hey,
Why?
I don't know. But speaking of Canada, Marco just texted me. You know, there's this whole thing going on about Dennis Rodman. You know, he on the down low put this whole thing together because he's friends with Trump. And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
friends
yeah.
with
Oh.
So
So
Marco
Rodman,
just-
we have to.
Marco just texted me. Dennis Rodman just saved the world. Digest that, motherfucker.
Did you see him on?
Oh, he's a freak show.
He was
man.
on CNN crying and go. I mean, what the? I sent the thing to Jeff. I was like, this guy ain't right. I mean, I never really knew much about him, but watch him on CNN, I was like, oh my God.
And these guys are bringing that dude in like he is the Messiah.
Yeah.
Well, he's taller
Right?
than everybody, so.
He might be taller, but he's a wacko.
He is a straight
All kinds of shit in his
wacko.
face.
Straight
And
Yeah, he's got
There is no way that dude's right.
no,
No way.
no.
Maybe to the Koreans, there's something about that, because they all have to worship.
well, he's a
I-
giant motherfucker compared to all
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah, true.
Think
I think
about
Kim's
that.
gay. That's what it is. And,
Yeah, he's in love.
and he likes black dudes.
He's married.
Well, that's just,
Well,
whatever.
That's just for the, public.
That's just for whatever. You have
hope
to
they're
show
not-
that.
I hope they're not listening to our show
Yeah, right.
in North Korea, right?
I think that's a pretty safe bet
I
that
think
that's not
the-
happening.
Podcasts
Dave
are
just
blocked.
called them gay. Yeah, that was Dave that said that.
You're lucky they just nuked all their nuclear weapons, because otherwise,
I don't know. Yeah, they're going to dispose of them, sending them over to Branchburg.
Yeah. You know,
Right then, but-
I thought it was, I thought there was one car thing that was kind of neat out of it. Trump like opened the door to show him, the inside of the limo, like what the beast is
Oh,
like
yeah,
inside.
yeah,
I don't know if he
yeah.
was showing him the armoring. I don't know what he was showing him. But, you think about a place like North Korea. What would happen if you got like Jason Dozier to bring his station wagon over there and take Kim for a ride?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think he'd poop himself.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
oh, this missile fast.
wouldn't you think that like these people, they just don't know what fun is?
Yeah.
Don't you think that like, and I said it to somebody else, said if you bring the guy to fucking Las Vegas, and everybody said, well, Singapore is like Las Vegas. I don't know. I can't imagine any places like Las Vegas.
No, it's not.
Bring him someplace like that and let him wander around for the day. Like just
He'd never go home.
he'd never go home. He'd be like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Especially with all the hooker cards getting handed out.
Oh, my God.
I had a customer in Israel, and I always told him he could take one of the guys from Hamas for a cruise in his 1,000 horsepower Evo. It would change things.
It would
Yeah.
fix everything.
It would change
Wouldn't
everything.
it? We'd be arguing about cars instead of
Yeah.
Allah or whatever else is going on.
Yeah.
That's why horsepower is my religion.
Yo, man, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just want to start by saying I could listen to you guys talk all day, but I figured
Boy, you really got nothing to do, huh?
I don't. I really don't. Well, first, my name's Byron. I'm from Ohio, but I got a project that maybe you guys would like to put some input on. It's a 2000 Lincoln Town Car that I'm making a sleeper out of.
Whoa.
There's nothing too special. It's 2-valve, 4.6. I did a PI head swap on it, so it's about 10.5 to 1. Mild cam, but it's still got high gears in it.
Those things are they're rear wheel drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
Tad
the same as Mustang.
Oh, okay. This is right up Tad's alley. He's got a Mark 8. So you guys.
Yeah, as soon as he started talking to him, Tad moved his hands
I
off
know,
the
he
console.
did.
I don't know where they went.
I know. I think he's filling up a little bit. So, what do you want to know about the combo? I mean, it's a 4.6. It's got PI heads. That's good. It's NA right now.
Yeah, it's NA right now. It's got a SCT programmer on it, but no custom tunes, just, what it comes with. I guess I want to try to get in the 13s to start with, is my goal. I don't know whether I'll reach that or not with the way it is.
How are those things power per inch? Since they're an overhead cam type deal, are the heads that good? Like, are
The heads are good.
Yeah.
And they I think they make pretty good power.
I think
Aren't
it's
they-
around 240 at the crank stock.
Aren't they
I
detonation
remember-
prone? Because the piston's like 80 thousandths in the hole.
No, that's on a 5.4. It's 120 in the hole. 4.6. They're almost zero.
Zero deck.
Zero deck blueprinted.
No, 4.6 is up. To normal deck
Okay.
spec. But yeah, the 5.4 is 120 in the hole.
The converter and gears he needs, but
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing. Or a supercharger, or
Well, yeah.
Will the 5.4 lightning blower bolt up to that?
No, will not.
I know nothing about
Yeah.
4.6.
Apparently, you're showing that.
What about on 3 turbo kit? You put a turbo kit on it.
You could put a turbo. What are your plans for the engine? I mean, you want to run it NA and see if you can get into the 13s, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to try first. If all else fails, I figured I'd make it a bottle baby.
Well,
that could work, too.
that'll work for sure. You have cams in it or anything, or it's I apologize. Did you say that?
It's got a mild cam. I bought some used PI heads that had a comp cam in them. I don't remember the specs offhand. It's more of a mild street.
Well, I mean,
Converter?
Who's going to tune the thing?
I don't know. I don't have a tuner local. There's nothing around me. I'm in the cornfields of Ohio.
Well,
Or like Mike wants.
There's remote tune guys. They can do that. Like Bama.
yeah.
Right? Bama can tune that. I think Bama can tune that. Get like a mail order tune.
Or
Mike's favorite.
what's his name from?
Like the little tuners?
What's that?
Can you load those through like the SCT tuner, or do you have to get
Yeah. They'll email it to you. There's a guy in Florida. What's Bionas's company name?
Power by the hour.
Yeah, Power by the Hour is good.
Okay.
That's catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's really good with that. There's a guy in Pennsylvania that I know personally that's really good.
Lund?
Well, Lund used to work with this guy, L&M.
Okay. Well, he's an engine builder, right?
Yeah, but he tunes.
Oh.
Mike at L&M Engine is very good. He's also a cam expert.
Okay.
You may want to give him a call. He's interested in NA stuff. He's interested in camshaft work. He'll tell you about your stuff, and he could probably give you some pointers.
Okay. Yeah, because I kind of want to keep it as stock looking as possible so I can really screw with people. But it's got a muffler delete, but nothing serious. Still got full exhaust. But it really confuses people when I pull in to get ice cream with my daughter and they hear this thing loping and it comes in and, well, where's the muscle? And that's just me in a beige Lincoln.
Well, beige too. That's what color Tad's is. Man, you guys are part of the same crew.
Was yours pearl white, Tad?
It's white. It might be for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
My,
I called Ted beige.
Mine is technically ivory parchment is there.
There you go.
Oh, that is the same color.
Is that what yours is?
No.
What color's yours,
I don't
Tad?
know. You'd have to look up the numbers. Who knows?
It's something parchment.
I thought you could like decode the VIN numbers on those things.
It's a Lincoln. Who cares?
It should tell you in the glove box.
There, I can look in that if I feel like
All
opening
right, you guys need to get a room in a minute. So anyway, here's what I would do if I were you.
Basic stuff, converter, tuning.
Yep,
supercharger. Supercharger if you're really trying to lean on it easily. Nitrous to me is always fine, but finite, the bottle runs out, sucks.
Right.
Yeah, and it's another thing you got to keep feeding.
There is so much used supercharger stuff available for those things.
Yeah.
Eaton's put them on a million things. That's probably the best bang for the buck.
And that kind of goes into next week's guest if it all works out okay. I don't know if they do any Ford stuff. Do they?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I should do some recon on that stuff, but I don't know. But yeah, Magnuson is going to be on next week. But I don't know if
I didn't know for the 2-valve whether then anybody had a supercharger for the 2-valve or whether the other ones would bolt on.
I don't think. Listen, I could be wrong, but I don't think the configuration, whether it be 2 or 4 valve, matters to the intake. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does
4
it?
valves is a pain.
Is it different?
Yeah.
How about the 3 valve?
3-valve, I think you got more choices for because they put that in a lot more stuff, I think.
So,
I don't know, but-
so 2 valve intake is a standalone.
I don't even know because I don't delve into it. I'm just 4-valve and stick with that.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to GM getting rid of push rods, huh? All this nonsense.
Well, anyway, yeah.
What
I mean,
about rear gear. Any suggestions on rear gear?
yeah, leave it alone until you figure out your converter and everything. I mean, rear gear used to be the way to do that stuff, but it makes the car not a whole lot of fun to drive.
Unfortunately, on the forums for the Lincoln, it's a big thing. 430 rear gear and a converter. I can't remember the stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be great to fucking drive.
Yeah.
It's like you're right back to an 18-year-old kid with a,
Yeah,
fuck
with
that.
513s and a Muncie.
Yeah, driving down
Well,
to the
it's
short, 5,500 at 62.
You got an overdrive trans, so it's not as
Yeah,
bad,
but it ain't even like look the Corvettes and stuff like that. Like they could have an overdrive that's as deep as like 0.5.
Yeah.
The automatics aren't like that.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about a Lincoln.
But you're still it's all the more reason to just drive the thing. Don't go
Yeah.
fucking with the rear end gear.
Yeah,
Leave that alone.
Leave the rear end gear alone. Get the right converter and put power in the thing. If you want it to be a sleeper, that'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right.
How do I determine a converter? So I've always
Talk to
You talk to a converter guy and a tuner. Yeah.
Your weight and
okay.
gear ratio.
Yeah, I mean, really, with shorter being on a dyno, I don't even know if a chassis dyno even tells you that because a converter plays into how the chassis dyno reads.
Right.
So I don't, I mean, my answer would be is you know where it makes peak torque, you know where you want the thing to stall, you know the purpose of the car, you're going to drive it, and that's how you put it all together. I don't know how you do it.
Well, it's a lockup anyway, so I think you could dyno it with a lockup, and I think you just tell a converter guy what you got, weight, camshaft. You know.
Yeah, I guess if it's a lockup, if the converter from the stock one is good enough, you could lock it and make a pull from a low RPM, like in fourth gear all the way through, and get a curve.
Right.
And have an idea where the converter. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I
So
don't remember if it was Circle D or what for those, but
yeah, get with it. You know, find a converter guy, find a tuner, and you know, go from there.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.
See ya.
Toodles.
Did Tad just say toodles?
no,
No, I did.
that
Dave
was
did.
not me.
Oh, Dave. Okay, Dave can
Don't
say
be
it.
I
stealing
told you
my
they
word.
ain't that far apart, dude.
I know.
They're really not.
We did have the discussion today.
I want to talk about Rich Guido, the Canadian Ninja.
I talked
seen
to
him driving around.
I talked to him this weekend, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
He.
Yeah, I've seen him
I don't know. I don't know if he put it on Facebook, so I don't want to say anything. But he made an awful lot of power.
He made a shit ton.
what do you go dyno
Like
tuning?
if you Google shit ton, there's a picture of his car.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good, and it's definitely going to be something that's
It's way into 4 digits.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, our buddy Matt Blasco was on his dyno, and they were messing with it, and I guess they've got like numbers like right from jump, like what it made, and it's real good. And he went, from the supercharger to the turbocharger.
Yep.
Mostly because Bang Shift Billy was faster than him. And he wasn't going to have that, so that's why he did it. But he's still going to be a stick.
Yeah, I know. That thing's going to be a handful, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, and I felt bad. He
put a
texted
a single 94 on his Pontiac, and it's a good 94. And he made
That's
He's
the
a
dude that.
drag week guy.
Yeah.
GTO built his own car.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about it. 1385
Yeah,
at 16
That guy's
PSI.
got big balls.
yeah, he does.
He drives it all the way.
I think
too,
he's
so-
on his way to the Colorado deal now.
He just said something about that in the room, but I felt bad. He texted me to show me, and I think Kevin, in fairness too, Kevin sent me, I believe, his information, but I had a lot of work to do over the weekend, like my mic kind of stuff, and I just like shut down. But he had texted me, and then it got pushed all the way to the bottom because I'll get like 90 different texts in one day, and then I don't see it. And then I looked, I'm like, holy shit, he said it too. So yeah, that's a pretty impressive thing. But what I wonder, he's a stick guy, and it's a real stick. It's a regular trans.
Yep.
Not like they took it out of a car, but it's
not
just
a clutchless.
it's not a clutchless. It's not, made to do this.
No, he's a gear banger.
I'm wondering where's the point power wise. Now, can turbos be softer? Can they?
Yeah.
You can take a little more control over what goes on in the gear change. I mean, I just wonder when you're going to find the limit of some of this stuff.
Well, we have a Supra that makes 14 and change. Joel Groundness, 6-speed car, and I think he's got a 91 on the car, and that car goes well into like low 8s,
And would go faster probably.
Yeah, if he had an auto in the car,
Yeah.
or if it was like a sequential.
But that's the beauty of, turbo control.
Mhm.
You could bring it on wherever you need to bring it on.
Yeah.
That's all camshaft. Well, at least that's how we do it with the
yeah.
Supra
Yeah, I mean, you could do some of it with camshaft, but you can
and tuning.
yeah, you could really control it with the gates,
Yeah.
which is how you have to do it with power levels like that. I mean, you can't be leaving the starting line with 1,300 wheel horsepower.
Well, that's what I was wondering, and that's one of the things I want to talk to Magnuson about, because our retarded friend Alan, not knocking their products at all. I want to be point clear on that. The mechanical superchargers are fantastic, especially like the displacement type blowers. Not like the Vortex. And I mean, they're all good.
Yeah.
But I wonder what you can do to control those things. And like dipshit Alan, if this thing ever gets done, he's talking about using that blower. And I can't imagine that making those things work as nicely. You couldn't ever have the control that you have with the turbo. I don't see how you could. But maybe Magnuson will tell us that there's some things you can do.
Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't, honestly. Why you couldn't modulate a gate for what's that?
I heard the pheasant.
Huh.
We got a pheasant outside, and they make like a rooster noise, but short. They go like rock, rock, and they just stop. He's right. I'm telling you, he's right outside the studio window.
Yeah, I heard him
Does
too.
anybody else think that's bizarre? No.
This is like refuge here. There's
living-
all
I know.
sorts
Yeah,
of
I know
shit
it
here.
is.
This
I
is
know.
living in the country, man.
Turkeys.
Remember the
and-
turkeys that used to hang out by the back window?
Oh yeah, yeah, they're nuts.
I think every time I come here, I see a deer or some
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
oh, yeah.
wildlife.
Yeah.
Well, now
can't-
there's all
can't
little
not.
fawns and the one pheasant. My uncle said that uncle's a hunter. He said there are no pheasants around here, like all the foxes and everything ate them.
No, they're around here.
Well, I've only seen one or two ever, but this guy, he seems to live here now, and
Yeah, you sent me a picture of it.
yeah, my uncle thinks
You're like, what is this thing?
yeah, what? I think that's what I say.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
You did.
I think he was a stock bird and he wandered here and he's just hanging out here. So
Yep.
he's all. But I was funny because I know he's right outside this window because I just heard it.
It's probably waiting for you to feed him.
Right?
I don't know
Knows
what
he's
they
gotta-
eat.
Oh, pheasant food.
There you go.
It's got to be on the forum.
Oh, great.
Oh man, Mike's gonna be on the forums
Good
for
call,
pheasants.
Dave. Good call. Probably killed the thing.
All right. So Magnuson next week. And trying to think what else
I got.
we going
I
on.
got one more thing. Kevin Schwitzer.
Yeah.
He had this guy that was supposed to get in touch with me, and I forgot the guy's name, but Kevin, if you're listening, I don't know if he's listening or not, but
I have a guy I was supposed to get in touch with too. The guy that was supposed to call in the night that the cable was gone.
yeah.
I forgot about him. I got to make that call too.
Well,
Okay.
Kevin, give me that guy's number because he hasn't called, and I just want to see what's going on. Because if he doesn't want this thing, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna put it on a container. So not a big deal. But
What are you going to send it back?
Yeah, they want it. So
What do you have? One? Did you sell one?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I guess it's not even worth trying to push it if the guy, because if we sell it on here and the guy's like, "Hey, I lost out," you want to push it? See if anybody needs it?
Yeah, I mean, I have to send it back tomorrow, but yeah, I would push it.
Push what?
I got a twin turbo kit, an Armageddon for a late model Chevy pickup
Ooh.
or Tahoe or whatever. It's like a $13,000 kit.
Direct injection motor.
Yeah, it's got to be
That's important.
DI motor. But I could sell it. I could save somebody
A bunch of money.
a bunch of money on it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they make 1,000 horsepower. It's got two 3076s, Garrett's. It's Cook's stuff. It's good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody should jump on that.
I know.
You see, you got a shout out there on the podcast, thanking you on the page from Rich.
Oh, you're welcome, Ninja. I did it more out of fear of getting my ass kicked when we see him somewhere. So yeah, I mean, if Kevin tonight, send me a PM with this guy's number so I can call him. That's all. That's all I got.
I got one last thing.
Sure.
Good.
So I was thinking how in the past, like when we were growing up, we would look through encyclopedias for our information.
Mhm.
It's kind of scary that the encyclopedia of today
Has become forums.
is the forum
Yeah.
because nobody really uses them anymore, except for trying to find information. And we're listening to things that were happening in 2011,
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of
That's a good point. And I will say that people had more character back then, to arrange a set of books with information that was fact checked and, all that stuff. I mean, you can go on a forum and get an answer to nearly anything.
Well, when
But-
you're on a forum before you became a guru on the forum.
Yeah, there were all the books, how to hot rod your big block Chevy.
Yeah.
Ralph was in that one.
How to hot rod your small block Chevy, and
Yeah.
there was a ton of books like that. And you know what? Honestly, with the exception of the cutting edge technology stuff, the foundation in those books is just fine.
Yeah.
I know.
There's
It's
nothing
good.
wrong with that.
But now you can get a lot of disinformation is the point so easily.
on ls1tech.com or Honda
Yeah, there you
Tech
go.
or stuff like that. Like you can't really, you have to look at the source.
Yeah, you do.
And the new guy who doesn't know anything.
Well, part of this though, but I'm gonna put a little bit of a curve in that, because to me, if I'm looking up stuff that I don't know about, I at least have enough of a clue to be able to figure out
Cipher.
who's telling you bullshit and
Yeah.
who's the guy you should listen to.
Yeah.
This is like looking at a product review. If you look at a product review and every review is 5 and then a whole bunch of them are 1s, well, you probably don't look at the 5s. You probably don't look at the 1s. You look at the 3s, because those are the people that thought about it enough to be like, this is a fucking 3. It's the same thing. If you can look through some of these people, if you have enough basic information about the subject, you should be able to make a determination.
The aggregate.
Yeah, it's look, we've talked about this a million times, and we're probably going to end up talking about it again. But it's tough. And as a matter of fact, Alan's buddy, Jeff, listened last week, live. And he said that we should have a way to talk to people about things that are not quite so high level. I didn't think this show was exactly high level. I mean, there are some things like Billy Godbold and probably some stuff with Kenny Detweiler.
Yeah.
But the basic stuff, it's not particularly high level, is it? I mean, how dumb do we want to get?
Well, people could ask us anything. The fact that they don't call in or don't, ask on the chat room, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it's the point.
And the fact that Jeff is Alan's friend is not our fault either.
It's an excellent opportunity to talk to people that you wouldn't normally get to talk to.
Yeah.
Especially the guests that are on the show.
Yep.
I don't know. We talked about stupid people, but there is some people who come to me and they don't know anything, but they want to know, and they want to hear it from like somebody who actually knows something.
Yeah.
And that I respect that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't respect when somebody who has never done anything coming at me like they know more than me.
I know. And that's what you see on the forum.
And that's why, that mindset of knowing where you rank in the scheme of things, that's honestly why, look, I picked on Jeff Booley all the time about the cylinder head stuff, and you too, about the cathedral port stuff. But you never heard me say a word about camshafts to him. I never would. He's got a ton of experience. Same thing with the other guy, Tooley. I wouldn't pick on about his camshaft choice. He's got experience that I could never match. But by the same token, there's things that are going to end up being beliefs, like our head debate that goes back and forth all the time.
But we're both right, though. That's the
depending on what you're trying to do, I agree. Both could work. By the way, those heads on Vince's Corvette project, cathedrals, did we ask him that?
We did not ask him that.
We probably should have.
We should have.
Because if there was anything to be found there, they'd be there.
Well, he did say that they are a very custom set.
Ah.
Yeah, they're based on a C5R.
I would imagine that they are a square port, but it's just the right size port, which is what it was. Anytime I said it was cathedral,
just fucking poking at you. That's all.
I really want to clear that up because a lot of guys go into like the shape of it. It's not the shape; it's the size.
Yep.
And the size dictates velocity and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, look, those things that my brother raced, they were back then they were 467. Now I think they can be 478. They've come up with some new next dimension to go to, so your shit isn't worn out and you got to get a new block. Those heads always needed to be like 305, 302. So try to buy an aftermarket big block head that's that. It's not a good one. You can't get one.
Yeah.
That was something else. Somebody had requested a Beaneman. Matt?
Yeah, somebody just put it on now.
Yeah. Oh, it was on there too? Yeah. You know him fairly well, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. I can try that.
Okay.
I'll give.
Sorry, Dave. Not trying to. Different kind of thing.
He does pro stock stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely don't do pro stock stuff.
So, all right. Anything else? Tad, you want to talk about your diesel podcast or something stupid?
They're doing the horsepower of the dyno tractor pulling a drag racing thing, and I forgot to bring my headphones to work for the past 2 days, so I got no updates. So
good,
fantastic. And whatever.
Hold on though, because Fudd is not listening.
You told me last week not to ask him anything.
I know,
and
I did it. Yeah.
This is your fault.
It is.
I may have been at a dyno seeing a third-gen Hemi with twin turbos on 93 pump gas make 4-digit numbers. Now, not a blower like somebody else, but twin turbos. That's all I'm saying. Because, somebody else has got a...
There's the crickets again.
Go
ahead, Dave. Help.
Dave.
I'm going to change the subject.
No problem.
I want to complain for 1 minute, and then I'm going to be done.
Okay.
So I put my motor together, and took my...
What were your ring gaps? Very critical,
Critical.
I got them within a half a thou.
Okay, there we go.
Measured with a laser.
So I got the mock-up motor out. I got my new engine together, and I bought from, I'm not going to mention the company, but they sell a twin turbo accessory bracket kit, and they also sell a twin turbo oil return. So I put it all together, and I realize that the accessory bracket kit does not work with the twin turbo return. Same company, same wording,
Really?
same everything. So I call them up, and they don't know that this doesn't work together.
And you wonder, right?
Then they send me. They're like, "Oh, well." They're trying to figure it out.
They ask you what color your car was?
Well, blue car.
What your ring gaps were.
I know.
So they get a manual tensioner. So they said, "Well, we'll send you a manual tensioner. This should solve it." So the manual tensioner pushes the alternator into my header and into my valve cover. Now, the whole purpose of this accessory bracket kit that I originally bought was so everything is tight. So then they give me this bracket kit that puts the alternator like out here in the moon. So
That's always great on keeping a belt on too to make sure everything's fine.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
it looks like shit.
Yeah.
So now I had to put my mock-up motor back in. I got to figure out where I'm going to put the oil return.
Do you have a plastic motor for
No.
doing this? Oh, you got just another motor.
I just got another 5.3 and a 4L80, like
So-
a mock-up.
I say you name the company.
I mean,
I don't care. You're looking at me like, Mike, what should I do? Have at it. I bash people all the time.
who
Just
is it?
ask Oliver.
ICT billet.
I never even heard of them.
So they get it from China.
Oh,
Well, they say it's American made, but I think it's China
We're going to
stuff.
tariff their ass.
But either way,
fix them.
I just couldn't believe, like, how can you make something? It'd be like you guys making a retainer, and then for a big block Chevrolet, like you describing it as a big block Chevy retainer and a big block Chevy valve lock, but they don't go together.
Right. Right.
You
And-
got to get something else.
And somehow we don't know that.
And you don't know. You call
Ugh.
up like, oh man, it doesn't go together.
It's
I
amazing.
didn't understand that.
Because your ring gaps aren't right. That's
That's probably what it was. I should have been zero gapped.
there we go.
Perfect.
Zero gapped and zero
Zero
decked.
gap. Thanks for having me on the show again, guys.
No problem. I want to say one more thing to everybody that doesn't have a lot of shit to do this weekend, unless I'm completely incorrect. I believe tomorrow is qualifying for Le Mans, right?
I think it starts.
I would love to say yes. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's tomorrow, and the race is this weekend.
Yes.
So
Tape it.
I will,
Record it.
I will be doing nothing but watching this. And I mean, look, I talked about this long before Vince was on. Always been a fan of Corvette racing and a fan of the Cadillacs. I mean, if you're a GM guy, you kind of have to be.
Yeah, you were all bummed out when they lost last year.
Oh, I was mad at the Porsche guys.
I know.
I don't even think the Porsche guys did it, but I was happy when a guy crashed. And I
Yeah.
know that's bad to say, and you shouldn't say it in racing, but when that guy in a 911 backed it on the wall, I was like, I just sat
As
there.
long as
and
they didn't get hurt, right?
no, he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Little Nazi.
Let's cheer Vince on this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and if you didn't listen to that show with him on it, there was a lot of neat. So, like, I still can't believe it's an LS7 block.
Yeah.
Like just an
Or-
LS7 out of
or
the
the-
GM parts book.
The import restriction that they have to go through.
Well, I
Jesus
knew
Christ.
about that because that's varied over
Didn't-
the years,
yeah, but
depending on
didn't
where
think
they
that
were.
was small. I mean,
I thought it used to be down in the low 20s. To be honest with you, I thought I remember reading somewhere it was 23. You know, I mean, maybe that's where it was with the C5R days. I don't know. But yeah, that's it's an interesting race. I know that, you know, road racing is probably not everybody's thing, but it's worth watching. It really, I mean, not the whole thing if you're not that far into it, but it seems like whenever you're not watching, it's when something happens.
Yeah. It's a really cool race.
Absolutely. All right. Anyone else? Anything else?
Cue the music. Let's can this soapbox.
And everything's
derby.
actually working. I'm pretty impressed that like the compressor's working
Yeah.
and everything's working. It's kind of problem free. And if anybody wants to listen to the other show, like where it was just us when the internet bandwidth went bad, there's a couple sections in there where you could hear what was going wrong.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up.
Hats
that's
off,
it.
Hats off to engineering.
Yep. Tuesday. See you Tuesday.